Hello students, thank you for joining me for another fun and exciting language arts lesson. I'm your teacher, Mr. Jackson. And today we will continue with our practice activities to help us to prepare for the ability test. Be sure to have your pencils, notebooks, and brains ready as we dive right into this lesson. For this lesson, we will be focusing on classification questions. Now remember that the ability test will have more than one type of question which test our verbal reasoning skills. So classification questions are just one of them. So we know what kind of questions we'll be focusing on for this lesson. But how will we know that we are successful? You will know that you are successful when you can honestly say yes to these I can statements. Number one, I can group objects based on their characteristics. Number two, I can identify similarities among given objects. Number three, I can identify the odd item within a group. Number four, I can define the term classification. And number five, I can participate in my lesson from beginning to end. So, I need your help to define the word classification. What is the root word of classification? If you said classify, then you are correct. Now, what are some words that come to mind when you think about the word classify? Take a minute to write them down. Are you ready? Here are some of the words that come to mind when I think of the word classify. Group, breakdown, categorize, class, compartmentalize, distinguish, distribute, place, rank, and sort. All of these terms are synonymous to the word classify, and they are verbs indicating some of the things that we do when making classifications. So, for classification, this type of questions offers you 4 options. All options are related to one another in some way, however, one of the options is odd. Your goal is to select the odd option. To do this, you must first determine what all the options have in common. Once you have done that, choose the option that is different. Now we're looking at classifications. You will have to group objects based on certain characteristics that they have in common. In other words, the objects will be related in some way. For example, this question asks, which does not belong in the group? Is it A, sneakers, B, water boots, C, gloves, or D, slippers? Now, let's think. How are these things all related? Sneakers, water boots, gloves, and slippers. How are they related? That's right. They are all things that we wear on the body. But what part of the body do we wear these things? Let's find out. Which does not belong in the group? We know then that all the items are worn on the body, but only the gloves are worn on the hands. So all the other items are worn on the feet. So gloves would be the odd one out. Remember students, you have to ask yourselves this question. How are all the items related? And which one is the odd one out? That will help you to answer the classification question. Let's try another. For this type of question, you must identify which part from a given list is an absolute necessity. In other words, it is a must or it is compulsory. And the question asks, which is an essential part of the word in bold? The word that we have in bold is television. So, which is an essential part of a television? Is it A, remote control, B, cable, C, Netflix, or D, screen? So in order to find that answer, we're going to ask ourselves this question. Which of these could a television not work without? A remote control, cable, Netflix, or a screen? If you said screen, then your answer is correct. Without a screen, we will not be able to watch the television. Therefore, the screen is an essential part. Give yourselves a thumbs up. Good job. Now, like the previous example, these questions will offer you 4 options. All 4 options are related to each other in some way or another. However, one of the options will be odd. Your task then is to select the odd option. Remember to ask yourselves these 2 main questions. Number 1, what do all these things have in common? And number 2, what makes one of the options different or odd? Now, choose the one which is different from the rest. Here are the options. A, tire, B, engine, C, steering wheel, or D, car. Remember, the first question to ask yourself is, how are all these items related? Now let's think. How are tires, cars, engines, steering wheels, or all of these things related? Well, they all form a part of a car or a bus or a van, but now that we know how they're all related, which is the odd one out? Is it A, tire, B, engine, C, steering wheel, or D, car? Did you say car? Well, you are correct, but how did you know that the car is the odd one out? That's right, because the tire, the engine, and the steering wheel are all parts of the car. The car is not a part of something else. It is the entire whole. Let us look at another question. It asks, choose the one which is different from the rest. Here are the options. A, lion, B, leopard, C, elephant, or D, tiger. Here are the questions again. How are all these items related? And which is the odd one out? Also, you may want to ask yourself, why is it different? So, how are all these items related? Lion, leopard, elephant, and tiger. Right away, we can see that all these items are really animals. However, which is the odd one out? Lion, leopard, elephant, tiger. That's right, the odd one would be the elephant, but why is it different? It is different because the elephant is not a big cat. A lion is a big cat, a leopard is also a big cat, and so is a tiger. An elephant? Not so much. So let's move on to another question. Now, I want you to try these examples. Choose the one which is different from the rest. Remember to ask yourselves these questions as you are going through the list. How are all these items related? Which is the odd one out? And of course, why is it different? So here are the options. A, cap, B, turban, C, helmet, or D, mask. Which one is different and why? Give it a go. Good job. Now, what would your answer be to this question? Is it A, cap, B, turban, C, helmet, or D, mask? Aha, it is indeed the mask. But before we can decide that it is a mask, what is the relationship among these words or items? Well done. They are all things that we wear on the body. But we notice that the mask, even though it is worn on the body, where do we wear it? That's right, we wear it on the face. while with all the other options, we wear them on the head, the turban, the cap, and the helmet. So our answer then is mask. Let's try another question. Choose the one which is different from the rest. A, guitar, B, drum, C, banjo, or D, violin. Remember to ask yourself this question. How are all these items related? What do they have in common? Guitar, drum, banjo, violin. Well done. They are all musical instruments. Of course, we can see that. We use the guitar when we're playing music, the drum also used in playing music, the banjo and the violin. However, which is the odd one out? Which one is different? That's right, the drum would be different. But why is it different? Very good. All the other instruments are stringed instruments. The drum is not a stringed instrument. It is a percussion instrument. Well done, boys and girls. Now for our final question, choose the one which is different from the rest. A, chicken, B, snake, C, swan, or D, crocodile. Which is different? Did you say swan? That's a good answer. But first off, we need to find out how are all these animals related? Well, we can say that they're all animals, yes. But what makes one option or one animal different from the rest? So far, we see that 3 of the options, these animals can survive in water. A snake can survive in water, so can a swan and a crocodile. However, the chicken, not so much. So the odd one would be the chicken. And why is it different? It cannot survive in water. So remember, ask yourselves these questions. What do all these things have in common? Which is the odd one out? And why is it different? Well, it's that time again to check what we have learned from the activities. Can you honestly say yes to these I can statements? Number 1, I can group objects based on their characteristics. Number 2, I can identify similarities among given objects. Number 3, I can identify the odd item within a group. Number 4, I can define the term classification. And of course, number 5, I can participate in my lesson from beginning to end. If you can answer yes to all these questions or statements, then you know what time it is. It is time to have our, you guessed it, 1-minute party. Are you ready to bust out your best dance move? All right, let's go. 1-minute party, 1-minute party, 1-minute party, 1-minute party. Good job, boys and girls. May not have been a minute, but I'm sure you enjoyed it nonetheless. Well, that's all the time that we have for today's lesson. Join me next time for another fun and exciting language arts lesson. See you soon.